Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Friday, February the 14th, the year 2020, Valentine's Day. Let's talk trading. It's time for the weekly wrap up. So, as we wind up trading here on Valentine's Day, I hope you had your risk management in place. And I hope you didn't lose more on any one trade this week than you were willing to lose on a trade. So, for the week, what's happened? Well, we filled all the gaps. And as you can see, we closed 9 pips above the weekly open, and we're in that wick zone of the previous week. So, we'll have to see if price will exit these 2 wick zones right here next week. For the year, right now we're above the yearly open by 105 pips, and we're above the monthly open by 139. And you can see here we settled just above these highs, so still might return to the south. We'll have to wait and see. Now remember, the yearly opens 108.72. Keep that number in mind. We opened within the opening range of the previous, not the previous, but of the first day of the week here. You see we popped above it just by a couple of pips and then fell back below it. And here on the weekly chart, you can see we had a lot of activity in the buy zone starting yesterday. Right in that weekly buy zone, we had shot up, but we came back down. We didn't quite hit the weekly open. We pretty much just meandered in this area right here. Now, there is something to note. See this big long wick here? And then you have the wick here and then here and here. If you see where these wicks are, and you see where these wicks are, so right here, you can see that this candle bottom right there was a nice place to look for a reversal. So you can see here price pushed down into these wicks, pushed up, pushed down again, but not as low, and then up, then pushed down almost as low, and up. So that's just something if you're an active day trader and you're looking to pop a few pips, a couple of times, just, put that cursor on, look at where that price is cutting across. Now, maybe on your chart, you have the price line cutting across like I do on some of my charts, and some of mine I took it off. And just so you know how to do that, if you come down here to properties or hit the F8 key, you can show the ask line, okay, if you want the ask line. But over here, if you say grid none, then that'll pretty much get rid of that line. So you see right here, if I come down to properties, you see I have grid light slate gray. That's the color of the line. See, I could change that. Let's say I change that to yellow. So that's how you do that. So if you don't want that line to appear, you can put none. If you do like it, and you can set it to whatever color you want. And once again, that opening range, which was an inside bar, you can see here we got a lot of inside bars that happened on the previous day. Now, on the range, I guess maybe it was Valentine's Day. They were all out buying Valentine's cards and candy and flowers, I guess, because we don't have one pair over 100 pips. And if you look at the daily, you can see where it stood in relation to these other candles. Now, once again, if you look at this, you see this line here that, and I think I showed you this yesterday, how it dipped and went up, And then you see it put in the low, but it didn't break. Then it came back up. So maybe right here, this little localized lowest open, about 68, would have been a nice area to go long. And you can see right here, just before the close, how price put in the lowest open and then bounced back, giving you about 4 pips or more to take before the week was over. Okay, we took out the pivot, and once again, price just kind of oscillated in between the zones, only breaking it just by a hair, not paying off at all. Rat zone, it's only 21 pips. Obviously, not enough room. But if we switch over to the beast, or rather the new beast, and I guess it has to bring down the history. And we wait and we wait. And we wait. Well, maybe I'll just pause the video while it. Okay, wait is over. As you can see here, once again, looking at M15 on the pound New Zealand, I call it the new beast. See, price dropped. See this big red candle here? Put in a new low, exited out of the rat zone, and lo and behold, it returned to that open. So once again, playing the big candle game, you can see right here on this nice big candle, this nice big candle, see this green candle here, return to the open. It's just something that I've observed. It's an eyeball thing. Here's another big green candle where price returned to the open. It's just something that, you can trade it. And of course, fellow traders, boys and girls, these videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine, and that trading's very risky. And that's why, if you're looking for trading advice or investment advice or financial advice of any type, seek it from an accredited financial professional, somebody that has a certificate on the wall showing that they're an accredited financial professional. That way, if you lose your money, you got your advice from an accredited financial professional rather than somebody who makes YouTube videos that has a funny name and sometimes post on trading forums, and you might see things on email or in Twitter or Facebook or wherever about trading. No, go to the accredited financial professional. Okay, that disclaimer is out of the way because once again, these videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine. I just have so much fun doing that. I really do, because I just think it's so, I just find it hilarious. But you can see here, we went through that pivot. Now, this 109.36 weekly pivot, we didn't hit it this week. So just keep that in mind. So for the missed pivots, you can see back on February 5th, we missed this pivot right here. Now, if we look at the weekly, you'll see we've got a missed pivot here. There was a missed pivot, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. It took it 2 weeks to take it out, and then 2 weeks ago, pivot was missed. It got taken out the next week. So this 109.36, I'm thinking that's going to get taken out. I could be wrong, but it's something that I'm looking forward to happening. Price action. Now, today's one of those days where you only got 21 pips. But even with there, you see price open between the 80 and the 90. It didn't stay between 80 and 90. Came down between 70 and 80. Didn't stay there. Went up here. So it kept closing either between 80 and 90 or 70 and 80. And then it took some time, but it did leave. And when you have this small range here, not even 20 pips to start, um, if you can grab three or more pips, be happy. They add up. And the thing is, when you're grabbing small pips like that, those opportunities usually repeat themselves. So you get an opportunity to do it. So you might say you get 3 threes, that's 9. That's almost as good as 110, right? And because the range was so low, we actually closed in the wick zone, something that usually doesn't happen. And here on this particular, there was no trades given off the horizontal lines. Now, I set this earlier today just to show you how many times you can trade off of this. So see here, maybe you picked up a pip. You could call these are possible losses. There's a pip or two gain to be had here. And then here maybe a loss, but here you could make it up. Here you could make it up again. And then here, but the thing is, when you look at this, it's telling you there's just not that much to be gained. I mean, it just isn't. There's no range, no movement, no volatility. And you can see that on the tick chart. We've only got about 4 or 5 pips there towards the end of the day. Here, we didn't even get close to the open plus or minus half the min ATR. I mean, it just no movement at all. And we made an inside bar, lower high, higher low on the daily. So look for a breakout next week. And it took out some of these earlier lows and highs, but you can see here it has to take out a 79 or a 69 for price to make any significant moves. So that's pretty much it for the week, fellow traders. Yes, I did finally send out batch 1 of the 2020 donationals. And maybe I'll show a couple of those indicators next week. The Virgin Wick zones and the ass candles. So, yeah, I might just share this next week. And of course, the 2020 donators also received a copy of the 2017 dashboard. Because and I don't think I'll have a chance to update it again this year. Things are just getting busy. For those of you who know me, I've been spending time, doing union stuff, and whether or not I get elected again will determine how much time I can put in trading. Also, those of you know I like Miatas. I've got a whole front yard filled with Miatas to work on and drive and have fun with, and a couple of pickup trucks too. Yeah, I've kind of gone crazy. Maybe I'll make a ranch update. And also, I spent some time shooting pool just to relax and enjoy, because that's what you're supposed to do with life. Do things that are relaxing and enjoyable. So, fellow traders, I hope you had a nice Valentine's Day. Hope you have a nice weekend. Hope you had a profitable trading week. And I hope you guys come back next week and watch the video. So, come down here, click on subscribe, click on like, click on the alert bell, and then click on the copy and share the video all over the internet with other traders. And just remember, when you come back and sit down at your trading platform, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So come back next week and drain the banks.